Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's week 17. Hopefully, you're not doing your fantasy playoffs right now, because that's a bad idea. We've warned against it. Uh, so I hope that you guys did the right thing and moved your fantasy playoffs or championship to week 16. But if not, I got updates for you guys on who's actually playing and who is not playing. So we can try and help you still walk away with that championship and fix it next year. All right. So first, I want to tell you guys, I'm sorry. I tweeted out about Derrick Henry. I got an update from last week telling me he was out, but it came through to my phone yesterday, and so I tweeted out that he was out. That was my mistake. Obviously, he is playing. We also have Seattle Seahawks. Everyone knows they signed Marshawn Lynch. That's a big implication there for them. He could be fantasy relevant this week with probably running back two upside, I would say. You also Let me start up here at the top. I got Sony Michelle is he's going to be a game time decision with an illness. Probably not someone you want to be waiting on to play. I think you got better options as he's inconsistent at best. You have Lamar Jackson is not playing due to them not being able to move up or down if they win or lose. So Robert Griffin III will be starting at quarterback. Possible stream option there if you're desperate at quarterback. Um, yeah, because also they're playing against the Steelers, uh, who actually need to win this game. So the Steelers are going to actually be playing to win, compared to the Ravens who are just playing not to have any injuries. So that's just something to keep in consideration. Uh, you have so yeah, RG3 is obviously sitting or playing there because Lamar Jackson's out. You also have Mark Ingram who's going to be sitting. So you have Gus Edwards and Justice Hill splitting that backfield. I think Justice Hill could be a decent start this week with probably again RB2 upside. I think it's more of a stretch for him though. I'd definitely rather start Marshawn. Um, oh, Wide receiver Marquise Brown could also be sitting. That one's harder. It doesn't really help any wide receiver there. That they just everyone maybe gets slightly more, but maybe a target more. So that's not a big deal. But also Mark Andrews will be sitting. They say that he might be sitting. I find it hard to believe that they wouldn't sit him. He's had some injuries this year. They're going to want him to be healthy going into the playoffs. Bill O'Brien said the Texans are playing to win in Week 17 and not planning to rest anyone. He also said that Will Fuller is not going to be playing. So Will Fuller had an injury. So he could have played, but they decided to sit him. But everyone else in that game is playing, so those that's you can keep that in mind. Feel safe playing anyone else on that team. D Hop, uh, Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen and John Brown possibly sitting out. They haven't said for sure. That's why Week 17 is so horrible. So I probably want to start either of them. James Conner, as I was talking about before, Steelers need to win this, but James Conner's out with an injury. So Benny Snell Jr. is going to be handling most of the carries there, and that's actually a pretty good start if you need to start someone, because as I said, Ravens are sitting a lot of their people. Steelers need to win this game. So Benny Snell could be a sneaky start that could really help you out today if you got some key players sitting or not or injured or whatever the case may be. New Orleans Saints, Michael Thomas, Drew Brees are both playing. They're trying to push for a first round bye, so you can expect to see both them out there on the field. So that's fantastic because I mean Michael Thomas, you're happy that he's going out on that field and playing. Green Bay Packers are playing all of their players as they need to win this game to maintain their seat. Philadelphia Eagles, they're playing everybody because a win for them and they win the NFC East. I mean, that the NFC East is hilarious. It's more which team isn't going to lose. The Vikings. Okay, yeah, the Vikings are in the playoffs no matter what. They can't move up, they can't move down. So because of that, they're going to be sitting some people. Dalvin Cook is injured as well, and he may have been able to come back this week, but he is not coming back this week. Also, Alexander Madison is he's going to be out this week still with that ankle injury. So Mike Boone and Amir Abdullah are both going to be playing, splitting that backfield again. Amir Abdullah seemed to take 90% of the passing work there last time, so if you're in a PPR league, he might be interesting. And Boone, he was not impressive when we saw him, so I'm not excited about him, but I mean, again, depending on your situation, you might be able to work him into your lineup, but yeah, that I don't really like that one. Jason Garrett said Dak will be limited at best, so or in practice all week. So he's going to play, but there's a chance that he could play for a couple quarters and get hurt and come out, re-aggravate an injury. It's not so much like them because they need to win that game as well. So they're going to try to play him, but we'll see how that goes. I wouldn't really like to start him. I think you got better options at quarterback this week. Sorry, I skipped one player. Also back to the Vikings game. Kirk Cousin also ruled out, so he will not be there. They don't have a backup quarterback worth considering to put in your lineup. This one's for Perry. AJ Green will also be out. Some other considerations is Jalen Ramsey will be out with a knee injury. Obviously, he's not a fantasy player, but you could consider that for playing Christian Kirk and the Cardinals as a whole. They're going to not have him opposite of them on the field, so that should help them out fantasy-wise. The Rams are talking about resting some players. They didn't specify who. I'm assuming Todd Gurley for sure, and then probably Jared Goff, and maybe one or two of their wide receivers. So don't roll out any Rams players this week because you don't know who's playing. Leonard Fournette listed as doubtful for Sunday's game against Indianapolis for illness and neck injury. His backup is Raquel Armstead. If that helps you, I think you got better options out there. DJ Moore's out with a concussion. Chris Godwin out with a hamstring, and Terry McLaurin he's out with a concussion. So Steve Sims Jr., that's a great pickup. You should grab him, throw him in your lineup, and feel confident about it. He's going to do just fine. So those are all the players that that are going to be sitting out with injury or due to the situation with the playoffs. I just want to make sure that I update you guys before the game so you could set your lineups accordingly. And obviously the 49ers Seahawks game happening tonight. That's definitely the game of the week. That should be an intense game, and obviously there's everyone starting their starters in that game because it has huge implications for the playoffs. And go Niners. All right, make sure you guys subscribe to our channel. I appreciate everyone who tuned in. If you guys do have any fantasy questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. I'll make sure I reply to you before game time so you can set your lineup accordingly. And you can also follow us on Twitter at Management Clock. We have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram page. We have every social media you could think of. We're on there. We have a TikTok. I don't even know how to use a TikTok, but I have one. So you guys can follow us wherever you want to do your social media at. All right, thank you guys for tuning in this morning. If it was a little early for you, you can watch this later and leave comments. I'll be checking it and replying. All right, thanks, guys.